What is going on, everyone? AP over here at Run Pure Sports, bringing to you once again. We got the Strokes Gain Show. I'm here with my two guys. We got Snyder. We got Locks. Locks, I'm going to bring you in first. How's it going, my man? How was the match play event for you last week?
Yeah, doing well. It didn't go so hot for me on the right side of things. The left side of things, I was close, but yeah, picked a few upsets that didn't happen. Ben Griffin did look good, but he didn't pull through there. Kind of got unlucky, but he did play well. But yeah, overall, we had some nice calls. You guys had some great calls, if I recall there. So, I mean, it was an okay week. It was fun to watch, really. Nice to see those studs going at each other. I actually love the Rory versus Cam Young. That's just a great match to watch. And obviously, we see Scotty the Kid just continues to pull through. So, yeah, fun to watch and fun to dive into another week with you guys.
Yes, Scotty's insane. And like, imagine getting rid of this event. You get Cam Young, which you guys were both on. Incredible call. Like, you both said, this dude's going to just blow away the group stage and then, get there to the end, which he absolutely did. So you love to see it. But, I mean, you had two just powerhouses in Cam Young, Rory, who can bomb at 360. And then you have two best friends battling it. One is world number one, Scotty Scheffler. Two is world like 13, Sammy Burns. He has to be well inside the top 20. I mean, Sam Burns is when he's on. He's really good. And took it to his buddy, Scotty Scheffler there. Snyder, let's bring you in, my man. How's it going? I believe you also had a good week. I had a good week last week. Tell me about your week.
Yeah, it was a good week for me. Kind of hurtful with Scotty the Kid there. I can't believe he missed that putt there on 18. I think it was like 18 or in the playoff or something there. He could have gotten further in there. I think it was a good week for us, too, in the Punta Cana. I mean, you can't overshadow that. I mean, we crushed every day on the showdown.
Had the winner in my core. I played very, very light, though, Snyder.
Yeah.
It was hurtful. It was a rough scene for
it was great. Definitely was a good ROI the whole way there. And I ended up, when I was driving home from Big T's on Monday, I ended up putting money on Burns and Wallace to win those two events. So it was interesting, good outcome there, hitting both of the winners, which was very unlikely there. Wasn't as high on Burns. I had some Burns. I had him like 15% in MME, but yeah, it was pretty good. If Cam Young could have won that, I'm not sure if I would have made more or not, considering the outright I had on Burns versus what I could have gotten in some tournaments. I had some tasty lineups there with Cam Young there, and really was looking forward to that Cam Young Scotty. That would have been a really good printer. But overall, a good week for us. Looking to battle back here and pick some winners here as we lead into the Masters next week. I mean, everybody's looking forward to the Masters, but we got winners to pick here first.
Yeah, we got 1 week. Everyone. Bear with us. We got 1 week. Then it's Masters week. I know we're all excited for that. A lot of good stuff coming over here at Run Pure Sports that we'll talk about next week. But until then, we got the Valero. JJ Spawn won it last year. Came out of nowhere and won. His form was not that good coming in to this event last year. But then he started picking up steam. It was really impressive to see. He won, got an invite to the Masters, obviously, and did well at the Masters. So, what I take away from that is, hey, it's golf. It's there's a lot of variance, a lot of volatility, and all of these guys are good. If you have a gut feeling on someone, this is a good event to take a shot because anyone can come and win. It's a weak field, not a lot of studs here, as we'll talk about. There looks to be a little bit of an advantage, but before we get into that, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Helps us out a lot over here at Run Pure Sports. Snyder, I'm going to kick it back over to you. Give us a course overview at the Valero Texas Open.
Yeah, let me get I'm right here. We're at the TPC San Antonio this week. It's going to be an appetizer event, as I kind of said earlier, with the Masters leading up next week. TPC San Antonio is a par 72. It's going to measure just under 7,500 yards, 7,438 yards, slightly larger than average greens here, 6,400 square feet on average. The POA overseeded greens are going to be running at around 11 on the centimeter, so it's going to be a little slower on the greens this week than we've seen in previous weeks there. Golfers are going to see some manageable rough here at only around 2.25 inches tall. It's not that penal here. The trickier thing is if you miss these fairways largely, way miss them way left or right, that's when you find into trouble there. So not too worried about that. The fairways here are going to be at around 30 yards wide, so fairly easy to hit these fairways. 3 holes are going to have water in play. 64 bunkers are going to litter the property. I'm looking for golfers who are good off the tee, though, here, mainly. Strong approach games as well, as these greens have been top 10 hardest to hit on tour, which kind of surprised me as I was digging into this. But these multi-tiered greens present undulations, some runoff areas, making around the green play needed here. The par 5 scoring is going to be pretty easily attackable here this week, so I'm looking for par 5 scoring here this week as well. We could see some potential wave stacks as we've seen here on this event in previous years. So that'll be something to look into. Early on, I think there could be a slight advantage to the AM PM, but we're still a couple days off. Need to definitely keep our eyes on that, though, leading up to lock. Key stats here: good drives, approach around the green, par 5 scoring, and opportunities gained.
Yeah, just a couple, like, when you look at the last 5 years, the best course history guys, you got Corey Connors, Si-Woo Kim, Matt Kuchar, Party Martin Laird, Kevin Streelman. So when you're talking about types of golfers that fit this track, you'd head on over to the heat map, and at the very bottom there, I got a key stats metric that you can look at. But one thing I remember is Matt Kuchar last year grinding at the finish, like he needed the win to get into the Masters. Might be the same situation this year. I haven't been following the Masters field, but I can't imagine Matt Kuchar is in the field. So, but when you're thinking about the type of golfer that does well here, I always think of like a Matt Kuchar type. You don't need to be long off the tee. Think about JJ Spawn, not long off the tee, can get it done with the short game, and then I'm always interested in guys that are in good form or trending into good form. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about today. We're going to go tier by tier. We're going to pick our winners like we always do, starting with the 10K and up range. We've got four guys in this range: Corey Connors, Ricky Fowler, Hideki Matsuyama, Tyrell Hatton. Locks, I'm going to start with you. Give me one guy you like and one fade that you like in this range. Or we'll go two that you like and one fade.
All right, I like that a little better because there's 2 guys I like up here, 2 guys I don't like, so it makes it easy for me. The first one, my boy Ricky Fowler, I think he's taking this home possibly this week. I'm not going to say he is because I'm not going to give away a winner yet, and he's not going to be my winner, but I think he's up there, and I think Corey Connors is up there with him. Those are my 2 favorites up here. I think Connors is going to have the second lowest ownership in this range, and Fowler is going to be one of the highest owned, but I'm fading Tyrell Hatton and Hideki in this range. I'm not playing those 2 guys. We saw Hideki withdraw, whatever you want to call it. And then Hatton. These guys I think they care more about the Masters. So I like Fowler and Connors here. I'm probably fading the other 2.
Yeah, very good. Hideki withdrew actually last year from this event too. So I'm not touching him either. I'm with you on that. Snyder, let's go over to you. 10K and up range, 4 golfers. Who do you like up here and who are you fading?
I think it's going to be easier for me to say who do I not like up here because I don't think I'm going to play any of these guys up here in this range. I'm seeing three of the 4 in like that 20 to 25% range. I could easily see like Fowler even creep up to 30%. I just don't trust his game right now. I mean, I know he's playing good.
You hate Ricky Fowler. You hate him.
I definitely hate Ricky Fowler over 10K.
I mean, it's Snyder. Like,
I'll play him at 8K. I mean, I'm not going to play him at.
But it's a different field,
13th,
Snyder.
31st, 20th, 10th. He hasn't finished outside the top 30.
I legitimately think he has 0 win equity. He always chokes on Sunday. I'm just not going to go there. If he finishes
0 win equity. Who in this field has win equity?
What?
I mean,
Corey Connors would be the guy I would play if I.
Who has more wins, Corey Connors or Ricky Fowler?
Corey Connors won this event.
I know, but who has more wins in general?
Oh, the last 10 years, probably Connors. He has 1 win.
I just love giving you shit, Snyder. Keep going.
I mean, I couldn't imagine clicking on Ricky Fowler at 10.2K at 30% ownership. So if he wins, I'm not gonna do well this week. But if he finishes like 20th this week at 30% ownership at 10.2, I like my chances quite a bit. I'm not gonna get on Hatton either. I think he's another guy that could approach 25% ownership. Connors, if I need a guy up here, it would be Connors. He's probably still going to be in that 20% ownership range. So it was a couple of events ago where I faded all the top tier guys, and I faded like 70% ownership combinative. I don't think any of those 3 guys really made a charge at winning that event, so it worked out there. I think it's going to work out again, so I'm just going to play this event a little contrarian here and just dust off all those guys, and then I can pretty much play whoever I want together then if I'm getting away from so much of this chalk up there, because I'm not going to play another guy that's going to be heavily owned in the next range. But I do like quite a few guys. I want at least three guys this week from this 8K to 9K range on all my teams this week.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at it, Hideki's obviously for me the easy fade. And then it's like Corey Connors, like I guess like Snyder, I'll challenge back a little bit. I don't think he's looked that good this year. When you look at his results, how he's playing, the putter is really like he's never been a good putter. You're always relying on the ball striking to get him in good spot. Now he's won this event. The field sucks. We see him thrive in these type of events where the field is not that strong. So I can't say I'm like fading him. Obviously, I think he's a good fade, but I've been playing Ricky. I played him like every week. I played him last week at the match play event. He looked good. He was right there. He had an opportunity to close out his group. Didn't get it done. He had a really tough group, but he came out of the gate and beat John Rahm, right? Round 1. He owned John Rahm. And you know what else? Everyone in chat was talking about John Rahm and, this and that. I faded him. He was my full fade last week. Thought he was going to get owned, and he got owned. He absolutely got owned. He got owned by Ricky Flower, the guy I like up top here. So Ricky's the guy I like. Tyrrell Hatton checks every box except for I don't feel good about playing him. It's just gosh, what's the motivational factors? You got the Masters next week. He is in good form, but will he be focused on this event? With Ricky, I know he is. Ricky needs this event. And so it's I wait that type of stuff because I know Ricky's going to be fully focused on this event. And he's been playing better than we've seen him play in a long time. So I got to say Ricky is my guy up top. But one other thing, too, with this event, I want to open it up. So, I do like Snyder's. I think you can fade the entire 10K range. And I think if you do that, it's going to make you different. So that's going to be something that I think is interesting and I kind of like outside of Ricky. So for me, it's Ricky, fading Hideki. Let's go down to the 9K range. Snyder, I'm going to keep it with you. Give me 2 or 3 guys you like and 1 fade.
Yeah, the 2 guys I like the most in this range are going to come at the bottom of this range, actually. I like what Matt Kuchar did last week. He looked good there in that match play event, and he's 10 for 10 making cuts here. Finished second at this event last year. He's been real strong here the last 3 years. He went second, 12th, and 7th the last 3 years here. The game looked really good last week in that match play. I thought he was possibly going to go further. Didn't really play the best that last event or that last match. He still shot pretty well scored, but it just wasn't enough there. So I like Matt Kuchar at 9.2. I think Kuchar has just as much upside as Corey Connors or Fowler or Hatton, any of those guys. I like Kuchar. I like Ryan Fox. He had one of his worst putting performances in the last couple of years. Last week at the match play, still was all right though. I think he lost in the playoff there to advance out of his pod there. The ball striking has been strong though. The ball striking has been strong over the last six events. In fact. Solid off the tee as well. Strong recent form heading in. I like Ryan Fox quite a bit. At 9K, I like Kuchar. And then a guy I'm kind of on the fence on is Davis Riley. I think the short game definitely scares me here with him. The around the green game does worry me some. That putter has been either boom or bust. It's either going to be +3, +4 strokes, or he's going to lose 3 or 4 strokes there. But I think Riley will probably make the pool there. I'm going to be fading Siwoo Kim at 25% ownership. Don't want him in my pool. I get it. Usually I like to play him on die tracks, but he does have a pretty solid course history here, though. So I get why he's going to be so popular, but it just goes in with those. If I fade 4 guys and they're all 20 to 25% ownership and 3 of those guys bust, I like where I'm sitting come Sunday, though.
Yeah, you make a really good point there. When it comes to ownership and getting different in golf. It's pretty easy to do. It's just, do you have the stones to do it? And Siwoo, priced where he's at, yeah, I mean, I can get on board with that fade. So Snyder, I actually agree with you. So I'm on board with that. Locks, let's go over to you. 9K range, 2 or 3 guys that you like, and at least one fade down here.
Yeah, I'll just start it off with the trifecta. I think we're all going to agree on the Siwoo Kim fade. I'm definitely in on that with you guys. I mean, that ownership at his price tag, I'm completely fine getting past him. I mean, I see Connors quite a bit under him in ownership right now. Maybe that'll kind of even out, but either way, I like Connors more than him, even at a more expensive price. So I'm definitely on the Siwoo Kim fade. The guys I do like here, Chris Kirky, love him on this track. He's been playing decent. Obviously a missed cut a couple times out, but I mean, he's perfect for this track here. Matt Kuchar looked great in the match play, so I will have some of him in my pool. He just looks to be swinging the club great. He's got 2nd, 12th, 7th here last 3 years. Obviously, a course he likes. So I definitely will have some Matt Kuchar love. And then Taylor Montgomery is another guy I can get on board with here. The putting is just, it's there. He continues to look better and better each week we see him. The only thing that scares me is he hasn't seen the track yet, hasn't played here. But I'm okay with it. So I'm probably playing those 3 guys. I'm fading Riley and Siwoo Kim would be my 2 fades to get off a little bit of ownership.
You said Riley and Siwoo Kim?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really torn on Davis Riley. Like, you know, if we go back to February in the metric that I tracked, just last 24 rounds, kind of rolling, he was losing about 8.6 strokes putting via his last 24 rounds. Now that graph is trending upwards, meaning the putter is starting to get a little bit more dialed in there. I like Riley. I'm really torn on. I think in MME formats he's fine, but when you look down here, I see Chris Kirky just below him. I see Matt Kuchar just below Kirky. I love those 2 guys, man. I think those are like you. Here's what you could do. You could easily fade everyone above those 2 guys. You could start with Kuchar and Kirk at this track, and I would feel pretty good about that starting route. If this is the type of week where we're on Sunday, all the live guys are going to be making fun of the leaderboard here because there's not going to be a lot of names. It's just how it is. You got to keep that in mind when you're making DFS lineups as well this week. So I'm fine with playing Dusty Matt Kuchar. I'm fine playing with the GOAT Chris Kirk. I mean, we all know I'm fine playing him every week. That's what Kirky does for us. He's a winner. So for me, Matt Kuchar, Chris Kirk, the 2 guys I like. I'm torn on Davis Riley. I want to like him. Locks, I hear what you're saying, so I'm kind of torn. Siwoo Kim is going to be my fade. Let's go down to the 8K range. Before we do so, if you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. We got a lot of awesome dudes in chat. I see Glock right there, winners. We got Richie Smalls. We got Alex Hahn, shout out to you. We got Natisfy. What's going on, my man? Gummy season, I agree. I need one of those 5-piecers again. I could definitely use one of those. Those sound pretty good. Shout out to everyone, though, in chat. We appreciate you all. Let's go down to the 8K range. Locks, I'm going to keep it with you. Looks like a decent range here. A lot of pretty solid options. Give me 3 guys that you like and 1 fade.
Yeah, looking at this range here, there's not many names I do like here. There's only a couple. I'll give you 2 names I'm probably going to play from this range. Is Ben Griffin, just continues to swing the club great, looks great. I mean, his approach game can get a little better, but I'm not too worried about it. He saves a lot of pars. I mean, he just gets it done. The kid looks good. So I'm in on him. And then Højgaard down here at 8,000. I just think he's a great play. He tied for second, or he came in second last week. I don't know if he tied. Just missed out on winning that. He actually played good in the final round to close it out too. Matt Wallace just played better. So, I mean, I like this guy. I always have. He doesn't play over here a whole lot, but when he does, he always seems to play pretty well. So those are my 2 guys I'm on here. Other than that, I'm pretty much fading this whole range for what I'm looking at. And my biggest fade will be the previous winner, which would be JJ Spawn. He looked good in match play. He obviously won here last year, but before that, I mean, miscut in his last 2 events or a couple events. And then last time he's played this course. Before he won, he missed the cut twice in a row. So, I mean, I'm not going to play him. A lot of people are going to play him because of how he looked last week and because he won last year. I'm going to stay off of that ownership there.
Yeah, the other thing too about JJ Spawn, I mean, this is not a guy that wins a lot of tournaments at all, and as coming in as a defending champ, a lot of obligations that you have, a lot of media stuff that a guy like JJ Spawn doesn't typically have on a week-to-week basis. So there's going to be some added pressure there. So I'm with you on JJ Spawn locks. Snyder, let's go over to you. 8K range, not as good as what I thought. Now, reviewing it and after locks, talked about the guys that he's on, but what are you doing with this 8K range?
Yeah, I like a few guys in this range for sure. I'm going to be right there in lockstep with locks, though, with the JJ Spawn fade. I mean, 8.9K for a 7K golfer at 20% ownership potentially. Yeah, that's easily a cross off for me. I think a guy like Nicola Holgaard, he was a guy I was really high on at the Punta Cana last week. He finished second there. He was strong for us. We were on him every round pretty much in the Showdown playbook as well. Dude just printed for us last week. I think he should be at 8-9, and JJ Spawn should be down to like 8K. So I'm definitely in on Nikolai there. Cam Davis is a guy I think he'll probably get steamed up close to 20% as the week goes on, but he had talked about not being fully healthy there and unable to practice as much early on, which is why he didn't really do he wasn't as consistent on the course with his round-to-round play there. But he says he's back to 100% now with six. He was six, wasn't he? Six, yeah, six at the Players there. He was 2-1 in the match play last week. He had a tough pod there as well. So I really like how he played last week in the match play. He was really good at the Players. I'm not sure if he's going to make it a core player, not for me, but I'm definitely going to be overweight on him in the player pool this week for sure. Ben Griffin, that's some chalk that I'll eat this week as well. I was off of him at the Valspar when he was major chalk. Didn't really hurt me there. He only finished 45th, but that was one of his worst outings pretty much all year. I've been on him ever since last fall, so I'm going to go right back to my guy Griffin there. I like the price tag on him. And I don't even mind going back to Matt Wallace here at 8.5K off the win. He was 7th at the Valspar, won last week. I think this course sets up really well for him too, so I could go right back to Matt Wallace off the win there. He was 3rd here 2 years ago, so I wouldn't hate going to Matt Wallace. I don't think many will play him coming off that win either.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Wallace, like, he's been playing really well, obviously coming off the win, but a T7 before at the Valspar. He checks a ton of boxes for me too, and he has that 3rd place finish in 2021. Missed the cut last year, but he's got to be into the Masters, right? I mean, do you guys, like, I should have pulled that field up. I don't have it up.
Yeah, he's got to be in, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't just come in here, another weak field, and he's got to be in play at 8,500, coming off that win in good form. His approach game is dialed. Like, this is like Cam Davis. Like, if he is going to be chalk. Now, like Snyder, do you have a good read on what his ownership might be?
I think he'll probably
like
be somewhere
15%?
around like 15%. Yeah, I think
15?
like 12 to 15%, somewhere around there.
So the thing about Cam Davis, he's a bomber. And now, again, when you look at the players, like ball strikers, Target Golf can win there, and he did really well. So this could be kind of a moot point. But here, I know if you try to bomb it around at this track, I think that's how you can get yourself in trouble. If you're like a plotter and just find fairways and, utilize your approach game, that's kind of the recipe for success here. So if Davis is chalk, I'll fade him. If he was low owned, I would play him. So I know it kind of sounds weird to say it like that, but that's kind of my stance on him. Because it's just is he really back? All those he was terrible before the Players, and then the Players came and a T6, he looked good. And sometimes that's how it is, obviously, with golf. But can he string together 2 top 10s or even 2 top 15s in a row? I'm not sold at all. Hogard, I think I'm glad you guys brought him up before me, because I'm looking at his name. I'm like, I'm gonna absolutely butcher this guy's name. And Hogard, though, I can pronounce that really well. 8K. I'm not that familiar with his game, but I'm glad you guys brought him up. I like him now. You guys sold me on him. Adam Schenk. I mean, this dude's been I feel like we bring when especially early on in the rounds, Thursday, Friday, and obviously, Sunday's the day that we want to be talking about these golfers. But man, coming off a second at the Valspar, I know his wife's pregnant. She's got to be due sometime soon. I saw it somewhere, but the dude's been playing some really good golf. I have some interest in him. And then Ben Griffin was the other guy that I'm looking at. There's a lot of fades in this range. Like Bezaden out. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've tried playing him a couple times. He's a one-time workbench play of the week, and I regretted it right after I played him. So I just can't go to a guy like Bezaden out. So for me in this 8K range, tons of interest in Ben Griffin. And then I think Hogard, the guy that you guys brought up, and then Adam Schenk is kind of my three that I'm looking at. And Cam Davis, probably my fade if we're talking kind of a chalkier guy in this range. Let's keep this going. Let's go down to the 7K range. Snyder, I'm going to keep it with you. Give me 3 to 4 golfers that you like and then one fade.
Yeah, down here in this 7K range, I'm going to lead it off here with Ben Martin. He's been playing some real solid golf leading up to this. Gained over 9 strokes total last week, finishing 8th at the Punta Cana, 5 straight cuts made, including a 5th. He's made 5 straight cuts here, I believe. 5th at the Honda, 13th at the Pebble this year. Strong ball striker. He can catch a hot putter too at times, so I really like Ben Martin, who has great form leading up to this. I think it might be time to go to our guy, Kevin Strilldaddy. Might be firing him up some this week. Finished top 30 in his last event there. I think he's a guy that can kind of carry over some of that strong form and such. He's really good at this event. 7 for 7 in cuts made. Has finished 18th, 6th, and 8th in the last 3 years as well. So I like some Strilldaddy this week. I'm going to go MJ Defoe. I'm going to go to him too. I think off 5 straight cuts as well. 29th at the Punta Cana last week. 19th
Who was that?
at the Valspar.
Who was that?
MJ Defoe, or however you say his name.
MJ Defoe? Is that a real person?
Yep.
Maybe.
Is that? Oh my gosh, I gotta look this up.
You got to give me the correct pronunciation there. But
I mean, Snyder, you're looking at me for the correct pronunciation? Are we kidding me? No, I mean, there's no way. Like Defoe, there's no way I can pronounce this guy's name. I got to pull this up now. Isn't it like Daffy or something?
It's Daffue.
Oh, chat, help us out. This is why we got chat.
That's awesome.
You might need to get Uncle T in here to pronounce this.
Anytime, I caught it because, Snyder, you do what I do. Like, if I don't know the name, I try to say it really fast.
Yeah, really fast.
Yeah, is it really fast? So I had to catch you on that one, buddy.
It happens there. I really like his strong off the tee game, though. I think he sets up really well for this track, too. Good recent form coming into this, like I said. I like him. Nick Taylor's another guy I would probably look at down here. He has a pair of top 10s in his last 6 events. He was second at the Phoenix, good around the green player too. 4 of 6 cuts made at this event as well. So Nick Taylor's a guy. I would say Ben Martin's my favorite guy in this range. I really like him this week at the price.
And now I'm all I'm rattled. I'm in shambles over here. Dafu. Oh boy. I mean, we need JT Hayes in here because maybe that's how you say his name.
I do have some. JT was talking to their heritage earlier and gave me the correct pronunciation leading in.
There we go. I like it. So we got Snyder on Dafu. Locks, what are you doing with the 7K range?
Dafu, do I know? I don't know. I definitely don't think I'm playing any Defoe, but I do agree with Snyder on a couple of these guys down here. I like the Strilldaddy call. I do like the Ben Martin call. Those are probably 2 of my favorites down in the lower part of this range. Another guy I mentioned down here is my boy Akshay Baisha, baby. Looked good last week. He missed his only appearance here, missed a cut, but I think he's playing a lot better now. He's hitting the ball really well. He's actually projecting well, too. He's just got to clean up there on the green game and his putter. But he's striking it well right now. So I like him to come out at $7,000.
How do you say his last name?
Huh?
How do you say his last name?
What is it, Baisha?
I have no idea.
Oh, Akshay Bihata. I got that one.
It's Beata?
Yeah, Akshay Bihata.
Beata. There you go. See? We're just on a
There you
roll.
go.
We're the worst. We're the worst at this. I know the first. I know Akshay's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know winners. We don't know
we're
pronunciation.
close enough on the last name.
How about that? We're playing Akshay. Screw the last name. Aaron Rye, I do like
Bhatia. There you go. Bhatia. Akshay Bhatia.
All right, perfect.
Ryan Miller says no.
Hey, Chad
Oh,
is the real
this show's
MVP.
too good.
Chad is the real MVP.
I love Chad today. Keep going, Locks.
Top of the range, I do love Aaron Rye. I'm probably going to fade the ownership on Brendan and Todd. And yeah, I'm talking about a few more here because this is a big range. So I'll just kind of go down.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, keep going because I might live in this range. I might actually pass it back to Snyder because I love this range.
So I'm just going to go through. I'm just going to start at the top and let you know who I'm playing, who I'm not, real quick. Just run down. On Aaron Rye, I'm off of Brendan Todd. The ownership, I'm just going to fade there. He does look decent here, but I'm just going to fade the ownership. I'd rather play Putnam, who looked really good last week. Eighth place finish is his best place here, but he's made 3 of his 4 cuts. Off a Ryder, the next couple guys I like, Nick Taylor, I think has a chance here. He's been looking really good lately. I do like.
I think he could win. I literally think he could win this week.
I could see that too. He's looked really good lately, so he's probably one of my favorite down here. He's getting some steam, probably 15%, but I'm okay with that. And then just Eric Cole, Nick Hardy, Sam Stevens, and then I will be Eric Van Ruining my lineups this week. I do like him, so he's probably the last guy I'll mention that I'll play down here.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is like we could easily see the winner come out of this range. I believe JJ Spawn had to be like in the 7K range last year, if not like upper 6Ks. Like he's right? I mean, he had to be like 7K, 6K.
He's
I
been
don't recall
a 6K, 7K player forever, from what I remember.
So I do think the winner, like this.
Hold on. I need a timeout. Ryan Miller. So are you saying I said Beisha correct? So Snyder's giving me shit for nothing? I'm telling you.
Where?
Snyder. It's
Wait,
Beisha.
what?
Akshay Beisha.
Now I'm just lost.
Well, the other guy said Bhatia, and who knows who's right.
I mean, I think we're all right, to be honest. Like I don't think there's a wrong way to say the name. So I mean, oh, it's too good. I think this 7K range is really strong. Andrew Putnam played phenomenal last week. Big T's boy. I think we were all on him, which was nice to see. Got the job done for us. Aaron Rye is your typical, like, from a ball striking stats perspective, all the optos are going to love because he checks so many damn boxes when it comes to ball striking. However, the guy wears 2 gloves, iron covers. Anytime I play him, I'd rather hit myself in the nuts every time I play him. So he ranks 6 in my model, and it's like, if in my model's standard with what everyone else is looking at. We want ball strikers. We want approach guys. Like, and I don't feel good about it. So if he's going to be high owned, I'm going to fade him. I think there's too many. Go ahead.
I just want to help you out on him. In my opinion, I'm seeing him only around 10%, and his tee to green game has just been immaculate. He's just been off with the freaking putter. So I mean, I would consider him. I wouldn't fully X that guy out.
Does he wear 2 gloves when he putts?
He does not.
Okay. That's better. I mean, how do you even all right, so like Locks, you're like a, former pro golfer. How, I don't even get the concept of wearing 2 gloves. Like that just why in the world would you, like most of the like really good golfers I know, they would rather wear no gloves than 1 or even 2.
Yeah, I would agree. I've never understood the whole 2 gloves thing.
Just crazy.
I would honestly rather wear 2 gloves than no glove though, in my opinion. That's just me.
I always would rather wear no glove than any glove. So
no glove feels so weird to me.
I'm team no glove.
No glove feels very good for me. So,
oh man,
this show is just off the rails. Off the rails. We got Locks. So just going down to 7. All right, so we got to dial it in. I do like. like I wish you could almost bet. Like I wish you could take the 10K range, group them all together, and then bet the ranges. If I could, you have to be getting some like somewhat decent odds. Like I do think the winner could come out of this 7K range. So like up top, I'm leaning towards like Snyder, your route, take more stands, cross more people off. Hideki, Hatton, probably Flower. I got to play, but like crossing a lot of those guys off and then like loading up on this, maybe a couple like the Kuchar and Kirk, but then loading up on the 7K range. I think that for me feels really nice. Nick Taylor. So Locks, you obviously talked about him. Not like a guy that historically we've looked at as like a phenomenal putter. He's been a ball striker, gets it done tee to green. His putting's been phenomenal over the last 24 rounds, 15.8 strokes gained. He's got a T10 at the Valspar. He's got a second at the Phoenix Open. I love Nick Taylor. I think he has all the things that you need here to get a win. Weak field, a lot of things going in his favor. So love Nick Taylor. Brandon Wu, a guy that checks a lot of boxes for me. The putting is starting to go in the right direction as well. Benny On, our guy. I love this track for him. So going back to the days of like Benny On, we're talking. So like he lost his card, got it back. So we're talking like 3, 4, 5 years ago. I've loved playing this guy in Texas. Like that's where I always play Benny On, get him on ball striker type courses. You don't need a lot of distance off the tee. This is a Benny On course in my opinion. And so I'm gonna be on him here. As long as he can find the fairways, I think it's gonna set him up real nice. He's got a T7 here in 2019. Like the guys I could cross off is like Molinari. Like there's no chance. Like Molinari's got to be in the Masters field, right? He like always is in that field. Like unless he wasn't and he's trying to get in, then I might have some interest in Molinari. But if Chad can help us out, I saw Uncle T. Uncle T, you got the field up. You can let us know.
He's in the field. He's
then
350 to 1.
Yeah, we're crossing off Molinari for sure. Emiliano Grillo, a guy the putter's terrible, but he's a ball striker. Could have a little interest in him. Eric Cole could have a little interest in him. Tyler Duncan, he's been playing really good. T3 at the Corrales. He also has a third at the Honda. I mean, T Dunk's like, man, he's a phenomenal play this week, in my opinion. He's been money off the tee. He's ranked second in finding fairways. And the guy's been a birdie machine, too. He ranked seventh in racking up birdies in this field. Nate Lashley, another guy that I have a ton of interest in as well. David Lingmerth, a name that we haven't talked about in quite some time. I think this is a track that sets up well for him. I have a ton of interest in David Lingmerth. So I love this range. I think there's a lot of plays. Make sure, the one thing that we really haven't talked about is the potential wind advantage. It does look like, Snyder, you were talking about it. Can you talk to us a little bit about the weather? Because it does look like Friday PM, the winds might completely die down, and it looks like there's gusts early on. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now on Windfinder. I have it pulled up right now. It looks like we don't have the super forecast yet, but on their standard 3-hour gap forecast, it looks like it's going to be sustained winds low Thursday morning, starting to creep up around noon, 1 p.m. around 15. It's going to be gusts in the 25 mile an hour range. And then Friday morning, the winds are going to stay up, sustained, and gusts are up. And then right as 1 p.m. hits, like the winds completely go down. The gusts are going to be under 10 miles an hour, it looks like, for Friday. So that's definitely something that we need to keep our eye on as lock hits Thursday morning.
Yeah, very good. Then Akshay, I'm with you guys on him. MJ Duffy, I like him. And then Dylan Wu, like him as well.
Defoe.
A lot of play. Defoe, yeah, my bad. I said his name. Defoe. The one fade, like Charlie Hoffman is like a course horse. Like his history here is phenomenal. And like I feel like he always gets some ownership here. There's no chance I'm clicking Charlie Hoffman's name. Are you? Either of you guys on him? You guys are fading him, right?
No, I'm actually not probably going to play as many guys in this range because I'm going to try and get 4 guys from that 8K to low 9K range in pretty much all of my teams and just kind of mix and match a couple of these guys.
That's how Snyder's going to own us. That's what Snyder does. Snyder comes in, just does his thing, and always owns us every single week. I feel like this week, though, is me and Locks' week. I feel very confident in that.
I like it.
Snyder,
I'm going to have this week. I'll take next week.
No, let's all. Yeah. I mean,
we're all on the hammer next week.
Yeah, it's God, they got like 3 millis. They got I mean, we got to get the mojo flowing this week though. Get the winners, and then it's Snyder. Let's keep it with
weeks though.
Let's keep it with you. 6K range. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I've got a few guys down here that I had my eye on early. I need to dive in a little more. Hopefully, we can get some guys from you if I need them. Lucas Glover's a guy that kind of sticks out to me there. Looks like his game could kind of be rounding into decent form here. He finished top 20 his last 3 trips, including a 4th place finish here in 2021. I think he's interesting. Kevin Chappell is a guy I've been kind of keeping my eye on here recently. He's been pretty good here. Finished inside the top 20 last year. His recent form looks to be pretty good here. 16th last week at the Punta Cana, 15th and 29th in his 2 previous starts before that. So I really like how his game's rounding into form with his pretty strong course history here, as he won this event like back in 2017, I believe. So I like that. Austin Cook is like a punt that I was looking at. I think he's 6,300. He's an interesting guy. He played well last week. He was 13th at the Punta Cana last week. So definitely think he's a guy to sprinkle in there if you need like a true punt or whatnot. But I really don't have too much guys that I like in this range.
Yeah, very good. Kevin Chappell, I'm definitely on board with him. He actually had a good round last year here in the wind. There was, I think, at least one day where we saw really high winds and Chappell performed very well. But it looks like right now he might be in that better wave if the weather currently holds out. Locks, what are you doing with the 6K range?
Yeah, there's a ton down here. Just not a ton of good stuff. I'll name just some guys that I have slight interest in down here. I'm not going to find myself probably ending down here very often, just looking down at these guys. But to throw you guys some value, people, Ryan Moore looks okay. Decent course history. Yeah, he hasn't been playing great, but when guys like courses, and I'm speaking from experience, I mean, even when you're playing bad, the courses you just love, you're going to play good on almost every time. So I'm down. If you're picking between these guys, I'll generally lean course history. I mean, Ryan Moore is interesting to me. I like the Chappell call for sure. He's got a win here. Troy Merritt is interesting to me just because he's missed like every cut lately. But, I mean, he makes the cut every time at this event. So, I mean, it's just for me down here, I'm looking for guys with a little bit of course history that at least have some game. Maybe a little bit of our boy Peter Malnati. I like Ryan Gerard at 6,600 as well. And then just at the top of the range, probably one of my favorite plays, 2 of my favorite plays up here are Austin Smothergoat for us and Ben Taylor. Probably 2 of my favorite plays if you're landing down in this range to end it. And then I do like Snyder's call on Lucas Glover. He's rounding into form here and obviously loves the course as well. So I think that's where I'm kind of leaning down in this range if I end here.
Yeah, I got a bunch of guys I like down this range, which kind of makes me feel good. But starting at the bottom, I'll start at the bottom and work my way up. Bryce Garnett. Anytime we get these shitty fields where you don't need a lot of distance off the tee, you lean on ball striking. I always have a little interest in Bryce Garnett. Look what he did at the Corrales Punta Cana, T8. Rounding like his history here isn't that good, but I have a little interest. Another guy who appears to be in the right potential wave, which when I'm looking at these punts, that's where I like to lean on any weather edge. If we're talking about like the GOATs, like John Rahm and stuff like that, I mean, unless it's like an insane edge, then yeah, like I'll factor it in. Otherwise, I don't really care. But when we're talking about the cheap guys, I'll definitely lean on them if they're in the good potential wave. One of those guys, Doc Redman. So with Doc Redman and a former RPS value punt staple who just completely lost his game, I always like keep an eye on him just to like see, because he's the type of guy that like he has game, but when it's lost, it's lost. It's gone, like absolutely gone. But then he finds it and he runs hot for like a very short period of time. he looked good at the Valspar. He gained positive strokes in every category except for strokes gained around the green. And then he's always been a good putter. So if he can find fairways and if he can keep the approach game dialed, I think Doc Redman at his price tag in a weak field is a really interesting tournament play. Kevin Tway, kind of the same thing. Former ball striker, has some history here. T3 in 2017, had a withdrawal last year. Outside of that, like his history here isn't like too bad. I kind of like him. Harry Higgs, same thing. He's got these are like MME plays only that I have a little bit of interest in. I'm going to have a little piece of him. And then it's Kevin Chappell for me. And I got a little interest in Henrik Norlander too. So all of these guys that I'm talking about, I'm more focused in that Thursday AM time if the winds kind of hold. And that's I'm just these punt type plays. That's where I have more interest in any type of weather edge is taking a risk on them. And so I think Doc Redman, Garnett, and Kevin Chappell are kind of going to be the guys that I lean to. So kind of in line with you guys, especially on Kevin Chappell. He seems like Snyder, do you have a read on what his ownership might be?
I think.
It can't be like that high, right? 5%
maybe. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Very good. Let's keep it going. Let's move on to our winners, and then we'll do our final thoughts. Snyder, let's go to you. Who do you have winning this event?
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the odds right now. Let me find the winner here. See what his odds are.
You want me to go locks? Or no? All right. You're good.
It don't matter. I'm going to go with my guy, Ben Griffin. I think he can get the W here at 40-1. I'm going to go with him as a decent shot there. And then if I had to pick another guy, I think it'd be like that Nikolai Hogard. I think that's how you pronounce it. Nikolai Hogard, 50-1. I like him as well to win this week.
Yeah, very good. Locks, let's go over to you. Who do you got winning?
Yeah, this week, I do like my boy Ricky Flower, who does have to win to get in, but I think Corey Connors is going to win this event again. He looked good in the match play for the most part. Obviously likes this course. He's made the cut all 4 times, got a first place finish, obviously. I think he's going to take it home this week with Flower up there as well. And then my guy to win, coming from the pack, long shot. I don't want to take your guy, so I'm going to go with my boy Akshay. I think he's got a chance to take it home from way back in the field this week at a low price. So I'm going Akshay as my long shot.
I like it. I'm going with 2 long shots. The first one is Nick Taylor. I know I appealed to him for a while there. 50-1. I think he's a great bet. Tyler Duncan is the other one. 80-1, I believe, is where he's at, is my other guy. And if you want to get a little frisky, Nate Lashley, 100-1. is just one more. At this type of event, I kind of like creating a little pool, a little portfolio of long shots. I think you can do that here with a bunch of these different guys. So Nick Taylor and Tyler Duncan are the 2 that I like the best. Snyder, your final thoughts.
Yeah, I like that Nick Taylor call. Now that I look at his odds, I didn't think he'd be that short of odds for his price. So I think he has a really good price on a DK. So I like that as well. Yeah, but looking forward to this event. We're going to get dialed in here, get some winners as we lead into next week. Showdown Playbook will be up. As always, we're going to have all that coverage coming in. We're going to have a bet show tomorrow, I assume, with myself, Uncle T, JJ, Mangone, and Kurt probably. And, yeah, I'm just looking forward to leading up to next week. I'm not going to go too crazy this week. Probably just play standard here, but next week we got some really good contests and a lot of weak fields.
Yeah, don't blow the whole roll this week. Have fun with this week. Take some shots, get different. That's what I would do. That's my advice here. Lower your volume and then take some shots. Just auto fade some chalk. Take some different stands. That's always this is the perfect week to do that. Locks, what's your final thoughts this week?
Yeah, for me, I just think, since I joined you guys, I've just learned from Big T and all you guys on narrowing down the pool. I think this is a perfect week if you don't do that to possibly do that. And if you use like an opto and stuff to narrow down your pool, or even if you're hand building, just narrow down the pool to, 30 guys out of this field. I think that's pretty easy for this tournament. You could even go lower than that if you want, but I just say start out. If you don't ever narrow it down to 40, 45 at first, and then just continue to inch it down lower. But I think this is a perfect field to try to do that for and just hone in your lineups a little bit better. So that's I think what I would say to try to possibly do, and then just watch the weather and see if it's a huge advantage.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye on the weather. We'll be talking about that in Discord all the way up till tomorrow as well. If there's any type of edge, that's something that we're going to make sure we dialed in. A lot of it, down in Texas is just going to be winds. And so wind is obviously something that's a little unpredictable too. So that's where you can also take some stands. Like if you don't believe the weather is accurate or whatever, it's often not. You can take some stands the other way too. So it's a fun week. It's a
I lost you. You're on mute.
Uh-oh. You lost him somehow.
Sorry. My
the iPod or the earpods.
Yeah, no, I lost connection here. So like my lights like flickered in my house. So must be it. I think we're back now. But literally right before we're about to finish this thing out too. So it's a perfect week to kind of work on your process and all of that. But for Snyder, Locks, I'm AP. Snyder, let's get us out of here.